And welcome to the License Your Invention Show. I'm your host, David Fidawa, and I'm here to help you license your product. Today's episode is the $1.3 million almost mistake one of my inventors made in negotiation. So to jump right into it, I know this is an exciting topic because it's big numbers and everybody likes to hear royalties over $1 million. And so to kind of pull this deal apart and dissect it and kind of show you what could have gone wrong, and so that you don't make that exact same mistake. Because when you get into negotiation, there's a lot of emotions that are high, and you want to be focusing on the right thing. And so to dive right in and to pull this thing apart, it was a very fun and exciting thing that was going on. One of my inventors had a company interested, super interested. They were, reaching back out saying, hey, this is a product, we love it, we're on board, let's make this thing happen. And so when they were in the deal, the company didn't want to put forth a number. They didn't want to disclose a royalty rate. And that happens with some companies, not all. But the inventor was trying to kind of pull it out of them. Hey, where are you guys at on a number? Where are you guys at? But they didn't want to disclose. And so what ended up happening was they said, hey, we'll put together an offer. We'll write it up and send it on over. So they did. And when all inventors, they set out in their process of getting their product licensed, they have in their mind, I want to get 5%, I want to get 7%, I want to get 10%. And when they have these ideas in their mind, there's no real context to that, because percentage, 1%, 10%, 20% doesn't really mean anything until there are other numbers and other terms behind it. And so when this inventor set out, their expectation was, this is such a great innovation, I deserve 7%. And so when the company put together that offer, they wrote it up, they sent it on over, and it was 1%. And that inventor, mind you, was had invested a lot into this project, and wasn't in the best financial situation at the time, and they were invested emotionally, and they were expecting at least something close to 7%. So when they got 1%, they were so upset. Cussing the world out, and all over the place with anger and rage, because they thought that a 1% offer was just so low, it was disrespectful. And so we talked it over, we did a coaching call, and this was the great part about it. The student was great. They did the things that I said in episode 1. They asked good questions. They found out certain specific information that we needed to use to get a good deal, or at least understand if it was a good deal. And so I kind of let her have her fit of rage and let it simmer out. Said, all right, well, let's run the numbers on this 1%. Let's have context of what this 1% truly means. And I knew what it was going to end up coming out to. And so just walking her through this mentally and emotionally so that she can kind of get to that conclusion herself was, fascinating as a coach. But, so I said, well, okay, what did they say? What's the volume they said they could sell? And so she told me, hey, I have my notes from this earlier call that we had. This is the number they think they can sell. And I was like, well, what's the price point? I said, all right, let's multiply that together. Then let's multiply it times a royalty rate. So once we did the calculation, it came out to $1.3 million. And she's like, no, I did the calculations wrong. Let me run this again. And I was like, no, that's right. That's what their 1% offer means. And she was like, floored. She's like, wait a second. I'm not upset. I'm excited. And it was this emotional experience for her that, the 1%, 10%, whatever the percentage is, does not matter. It's the money that's getting deposited in your bank account that changes your life. And that's what we broke it down to. That's what we calculated to. And that is what you need to do in every single deal. When you get an offer, 1%, 10%, 20%, that doesn't matter. What is that bottom line? And so after she figured out that it was $1.3 million, it was a very different tone. And she was like, thank you so much. Like this could have been terrible. I could have tore my own deal apart with rage because I was so upset over this 1%, which is really a lot of money. And so thank you. And so your perspective, you need to open your eyes. You need to look at the terms. You need to look at other things beside the percentage. I do this. Every inventor does this. When they get an offer, they flip through the contract till they find that royalty percentage. Once they find that royalty percentage, then they're like, all right, yes or no, we need to negotiate higher. And really, there's bigger things at play here. Other terms in the contract. Also, I want to take you through how to, yet again, increase royalty rates, as we did in episode 1. If you get an offer and you run the numbers, and the numbers are inadequate, and so let's say when you were talking to them on the first call, they said, hey, we can sell 10,000 units at $10. That's $100,000 in sales. And let's say they do a 1% offer. So that's $1,000. And they have in the contract, let's say you have to file and uphold the intellectual property. Well, $1,000 a year is not going to cover your patents. And so this is leverage, right? You can use this mathematics as leverage. And I've walked it through with companies on the phone. And it's a very simple calculation when you're talking to them. You say, hey, when we were talking earlier, you projected 10,000 units in sales. And at this royalty rate, at this price point, I'm making $1,000 a year, and in the contract it has us, me covering the intellectual property costs and $1,000 a year in royalties. I don't make any money. I'm losing money, and so this deal's not really worth it to me. What can we do? And those are the type of things that companies come back to. You know what? This inventor is so reasonable. They want to work with us. How do we do this? And that's where the creative ways of weaving the deal together can really help you. And the company will come back and say, hey, we'll cover intellectual property. Will that work for you? And then you get to make the decision, right? At a better level, and you get to see kind of what the deal's worth in dollars and not percentages and all these things that don't equate to actual dollars coming into your bank account. So to encapsulate it all, you find out what the royalty rate means before taking action. And that will give you better deals, even higher royalty percentages, or let you lock in at, let's say, $1.3 million. I hope you truly enjoyed that episode of License Your Invention. I am your host, David Fidua, and I'm always here to help you license your product. If you want more information, check out inventtribe.com. If you yourself want to get that $1.3 million royalty rate, subscribe now so you can check out more videos to learn more about this process. The next episode is nothing like it. Drop it. I get so many inventors that come to me and say, hey, I've got this innovation. It's revolutionary. There's absolutely nothing like it. The first thing I tell them is, then drop the project. So I want to tell you more about why that is in the next episode.